funny looking back on your life and realizing that your path was almost written from childhood. I grew up in a big extended family and inside of a couple family businesses. Growing up like that teaches you a lot about the value of working together, as everyone has their own unique set of skills, and you rely on them in different situations. We have a farm that has been in our family for several generations, and if I think back to those early lessons, the classic Kiwi number 8 wire mentality really comes to mind. When you're living rurally, you have to approach problems a little bit differently, because if something breaks, it's usually you that has to fix it. I grew up following my dad and grandpa around as they fixed all sorts of machinery and tools, and I'd have a lot of fun sifting through the old parts and finding the ones we needed. There was always this sense of adventure to it, setting out on the unknown and just figuring it out as you went along. The hands-on practical side to it was obviously an invaluable lesson for me, but the part I value the most is the mindset that you can do it. If something goes wrong in my life or on a project, my first thought is always, how can I fix it? I never feel like there's something that I can't do. And I guess some of that comes from my mum as well. One of my core childhood memories is mum in the kitchen, just trying out a new recipe. She was always experimenting and improving her recipes. None were ever a failure, always just an opportunity to learn and to try something different next time. She created an environment where failure was never really considered. I'd get home from school and I'd have about half an hour to make some food before my favourite cartoons would come on. And in the 90s, the cartoons were good, so you didn't want to miss a single second. I'd be in the kitchen trying out different things, and whatever was left at the end was what I'd eat. Some days it was terrible, but I was hungry, and so I'd eat it. I soon learned what not to do. That lesson of failure was so central to who I am, and I still love every opportunity to learn. My parents also have a tourism experience, so that others can come and enjoy the amazing location that we're from. Aside from the location, the guests love hearing Dad's stories from when he grew up on the farm, and the different ways that the farm has changed over that time. His storytelling gives them an insight into the amazing history of the area, because it was such a pioneering part of the country at the time. When I was about 11, I took on a school project to build a website. We didn't have any formal instruction on how to do it. I just thought I'd figure it out along the way. I think I was probably just looking for an excuse to be on the computers more. Not only was I combining so many of my family's lessons, but I also had to get creative and figure out the storytelling and how to bring the physical beauty to a digital format. This was long before video was common on the internet. Communicating something that is so commonplace to you is a real challenge, and it's one that I frequently help brands with. And I find it a lot easier because of those lessons that I've brought with me from my childhood. Family businesses are of course very personal things, and I look to work with authentic brands for the same reasons. There's something extra special about launching something that you feel personally connected to. These days consumers are looking for a brand that they can personally connect with. So these core lessons from my childhood aren't just personal beliefs. They're central to how I work with e-commerce businesses. I help brands believe in their ability to achieve their goals and guide them through the complexity of the digital world. My focus on the value of continuous learning helps businesses see their challenges not as failures, but as opportunities to get feedback and improve. And I understand that sharing their authentic stories can be challenging, so I assist brands in using storytelling to genuinely connect with their customers. By doing this, I help e-commerce businesses build resilient and authentic brands that stand out to form lasting relationships with their customers.